Okay. Oh, you're just gonna have a journey to edit. Where's my book? Welcome back to Off the Cover, my series where I review books. I just finished Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale earlier today, and so I wanted to finish... Yeah, open your laptop. Do something else. I wanted to do the review before I started another book and lost some of what I had from this. I'm gonna jump back in time, so this is something you're gonna need to put at the beginning. I don't want to spoil too much of the book for you because I think that a lot of what the book has to offer is the feeling of insecurity in the fact that you don't really know what's going to happen, you don't know how it's going to end. And there's a good amount of closure in the book, and there are a good amount of questions that are left unanswered, and I think that's an amazing rhetorical tactic that I haven't seen for a while, used well. Also, my hair and makeup has been done by the fabulous Danielle, who... I take back fabulous.
It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. I am getting so hot, I'm gonna take my clothes.
Sorry for the sound change. We made it warm in here. Okay, what was I talking about? Handmaid's Tale. It was so good to read a book that was good again. It made me feel things other than being angry at the author. I really felt for all the characters in it. I felt that the characters were well developed. I liked seeing everything from Offred's point of view in the way that she's a biased narrator and she doesn't know everything about everyone, so she often talks about reconstructing things. When she speaks about what happened to Moira, she says she's going to write it how she imagines Moira would say it. And I thought that was really powerful. There were a lot of times in the book where I was reading it and I would have to put it down because I felt like I couldn't breathe because the sheer objectification and oppression that these women faced was just so intense, and the way that Atwood wrote about it was so poignant, and it was just amazing, and I was floored by the book, and I was floored by how highly I thought of this book because I figured I was gonna like the book, but I figured it would also have been overhyped, especially because now there's an HBO series about it and I just wasn't sure how it would translate. But I was very impressed with it. It was an amazing read, and it's a very quick read as well. There are very short chapters, which I really appreciate because I often will read in between two things, and so it's nice to have short goals, but it's very good. It's only like 305 pages. I really enjoyed it. I need a rating system. I'm not gonna use Little Blip again. I would give it 4.5 Baptists out of 5. Yeah, it was just an amazing read, and I would definitely read it again, and your arm is in the shot. Thank you. It was just amazing, phenomenal. Margaret Atwood did an amazing job. At the end, there are some historical notes, which are from the year 2195. It's I believe a university is having a professor speak about the things that happened in Gilead. And it was so interesting to go from one page of reading this incredibly emotional story to going to the next page with the distance of academia and centuries. You would read about how the professor was saying that it's not within their place to pass judgment on what happened because it was a different culture, and you see that a lot in terms of historians now when they look at horrible oppression, even in our own country's history, in terms of genocide and slavery and segregation, and it's just really powerful. It's a very powerful tool that Atwood utilized. It was just amazing. Another thing I really liked about the book was the way that Atwood was able to portray men in a way that they are obviously benefiting from this system, but they try to pretend like they are also being oppressed by this system that puts them on such a pedestal, and how it talks about how when you have all freedom taken away from you, one tiny bit of power is all it takes to make you turn on your fellow women, your fellow people. I like how it talks about a lot of men's insensitivity to what the women have to go through, but how the women are constantly having to show sensitivity for what the men have to go through, even though it pales in comparison. And it's just a really good analogy to actual society right now, in how women always have to perform for men in order to not step on their toes, especially when we're talking about things like the patriarchy and sexism and workplace discrimination and sexual harassment and rape culture, and the list goes on, about how women have to hide our true feelings because people will label us as hysterical or crazy or whatever just for having opinions and for being educated and well-spoken. My hope is that more people will read this book or watch this series and will learn something from it and be able to see the parallels in modern society. The book is amazing. Just read the book. I have opinions. Those are my opinions. Thanks for watching Off the Cover.